Hi everyone, Kelt here, bringing you my thoughts on the British royal family, and today I'll be talking about the Beckhams and their Netflix experience as compared to Harry and Meghan's Netflix experience. I watched the Netflix series entitled Beckham and was so impressed. They both came across as so normal, relatable and very authentic. For instance, if it was Meghan in the situation of supposedly about to have a baby, in this instance it was Victoria having her child by caesarean section. I think it was her third child. Her husband David couldn't be there with her because he was having a photo shoot with J-Lo and Beyonce. Victoria did admit to being really annoyed about this, but she shared it in such a light-hearted way and quite a humorous way. And I was thinking how Meghan would handle this. She would never let Harry live it down. David Beckham was so abused by his fans and so misjudged, and throughout he stayed true to himself and did what he felt was right for him. And I have total admiration for Victoria, his wife, for always supporting him, even when he was changing football clubs and the country they were living in. So suddenly she just had to jump up and go each time he did this. And true loyalty to her husband. Watching this series, I realised that they're both warriors, both very strong people. And although I heard that David Beckham had longed for a knighthood, I'm actually glad that he didn't have one and that he didn't join that club, so to speak. I watched the series with the intention of comparing their reality show with Harry and Meghan's, and there is no comparison whatsoever. David Beckham could have been a bitter person with all that he had to endure. He had, it seemed, at times, the whole world against him, booing him, even stringing up an effigy of him in a public mock hanging. And he had treatment like this for months, years in fact. And obviously he had the other side of it, whereby if he scored an amazing goal, everybody loved him again, which is so shallow if you think about it, because it's all about money and success and people making money out of his talent, managers wanting him to join their team because he will make them money. He had every right to become an embittered man, but he didn't. He was very sweet, forgiving, and yet resolute in his own strong principles and his vision for his life. Harry could learn a thing or two from this man. I remember when there was talk of Tom Cruise being friends with Victoria and David and trying to get them to join his Scientology religion. No amount of persuasion would work, and David and Victoria were having none of it. Unlike Meghan Markle, who changes her religion to suit her circumstances, or should I say marriages. Victoria loves fashion and has an amazing beauty product line and a fashion line. She cares very much about her appearance, but stays real. She was so self-effacing and so real, it was refreshing to watch, unlike Meghan, who was always so fake and inauthentic during their documentary. David and Victoria are so family orientated. They don't just talk about it, they actually walk the walk. And their children are evidence of this. They were always with them. You never saw them hidden away, and they wouldn't have been left in another country if they had to attend a function. I don't usually like to compare people, but I must admit it was very obvious the differences from forcing myself to watch the Harkles to really enjoying every second of watching the Beckhams. They both seem fairly astute, and they must have seen through Meghan at least. I think there was a falling out, and I believe that they're no longer friends with them, and I'm not surprised. It was obvious that the Beckhams enjoy the high life, they enjoy having money, and they enjoy spending it and having nice things, but they're still very real and down to earth. I thought it was fascinating that David Beckham cleans the kitchen and cleans the oven and the hob after everybody else has gone to bed. They have so many millions, they could employ somebody to do this, but he just loves doing it. I thought it was fascinating. Unlike Meghan, who likes to appear to be a certain way, he sort of was quite humble about it, genuinely, and admitted it was just one of his obsessions. Harry and Meghan could have achieved so much. Harry already had a title. He was already a prince. He didn't start from a working class family and work his way up. He already had the privilege, and to nice homes. He almost got away with his petulant behaviour, as everybody made allowances because of his cheekiness and the fact that he'd lost his mother. But now that has worn quite thin, and many people blame Meghan for the way Harry is now. He already had it in him, and it's a shame that he didn't meet someone who would bring out the best in him. I remember reading that Victoria Beckham was making Meghan feel very welcome when she moved over to the UK, giving her makeup and fashion tips. Watching Beckham on Netflix, I thought how lovely Victoria was and how witty and funny, and what an amazing friend she would make. Meghan threw Victoria under the bus quite publicly by blaming her for making public what was supposed to be private information, but it was so trivial, absolutely trivial, and turned out to be untrue in the end. But it had ruined any relationship that they had with the Beckhams. When I read that this new Netflix documentary by the Beckhams had totally put Harry and Meghan to shame, I thought that they had spoken about them, but they didn't. It was the very fact that their Netflix creation was so extraordinarily watchable and positive, which made Harry and Meghan's look even more of a failure. If you get a chance, watch it. I'm not into football at all, and not really a follower of celebrities, but I watched it with the sole purpose of just finding out what they're about, especially because they were friends of the Harkles, and totally impressed with them, and can understand that they're not friends with them now. I was surprised that they were friends with them at all, but maybe it took them time to realise what they were about. Let me have your thoughts on this, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.